Hey guys, this is your self love coach, and this is exactly where I teach with you all of my own personal learnings. And if you don't know me, I am a studying life coach, but most of all, I share with you my own experiences about life, about love, relationships. I'm recently delving into masculine and feminine energies, and in this video, I want to talk to you about my own understanding of the wounded masculine energy. And before I get into this, um, basically what the wounded masculine is we have a healthy masculine energy and we have a healthy feminine energy. And then what happens as we're growing up is when traumas happen to us, bad experiences happen to us, perhaps we have a very cruel father or, even a cruel mother or a step parent. And then what happens to those healthy masculine and healthy feminine energies is they turn into wounds. And this is where the idea comes from of that we believe that a masculine man is a really controlling man and a dominating man. In fact, the control and the dominance is actually from a wound. It's the need to feel that they have to dominate and control. And with the feminine, a quick example of that, what a wound would actually look like is being really submissive, not being able to stand up for herself, perhaps having a really cruel father or a cruel stepdad or a mum that was unkind to her, and therefore she can't stand up for herself. She's frightened. So this is where the wounds come in, and what we have to do is be able to access our masculine and feminine sides, but make sure that we heal the wounded sides of ourselves. And so I will go into a wounded feminine, but right now I want to delve into this wounded masculine energy. And what I've been learning about that recently is that we will attract a wounded masculine man when we also have wounds inside of ourselves that need to be healed, and we will be attracted to those things, and it's there to teach us what parts of ourselves have to be healed. And so what you may see if you are with a wounded masculine man is that, as I mentioned before, he's controlling, he's dominant, he feels that he is above you, he feels that you have roles to play in the house. And every man, to some extent, may have this or may think this, but it's about also bringing in the logic of today and the understanding of today of how hard our worlds can be, and going in a fair relationship where both people are working. I need to help my wife raise the kids. I need to help my wife clean the house. We're maybe both working. So it's not about making you have set roles or not willing to do this just because I'm the man. And it's also making sure that you are completely respected, not talking down to you. Again, the wounded masculine will talk down to you. And we all have a little bit of a wound to an extent. And so what's very important to look for here is somebody who is willing to look at their stuff and work on it. And you don't want somebody that is abusive or somebody that's not willing to even understand what this concept is and then work on those things. And so if you notice that some of the things I mentioned today are within your partner, that is okay. However, it's very important that they may be willing to work on it. And same for you if you notice that you've got your wounded masculine or feminine sides. And the other part to this is that even though you may be a woman listening to this, it's very obvious and clear that you could have wounded masculine sides. So sometimes as a child, we get treated in a certain way, and then we also start coming out with those wounded masculine sides of ourselves. And, this is really rigid and very tense, very involved, not able to come into our body at all, not able to access the feminine side at all, not able to get in touch with feelings, being really harsh. And this is where war starts in the world when it's so much masculine. When there's too much masculine, it's not feeling, not being able to emphasize, feel what somebody else is feeling, not able to connect with them, not even caring. This is all wounded masculine, not healthy masculine. And so what a healthy masculine is known for is he is known for his leading and his guidance, but it's a leading that you actually trust rather than I am a man, you must follow me because I'm the boss here. This is what actually turns a woman off, and this is what pushes her away. Whereas if he's a healthy masculine and he has a really nice way about it, he's soft, he's kind, but he's confident and he is able to lead in a nice way, naturally women are going to want to swarm to him, and the women will actually like that and be attracted. And this is also the same for lesbian and gay couples as well. It's about that energy that you have, that feminine or masculine energy, regardless of your sex. So it's just about that leading energy that you hold. So it also applies, this video does apply for whatever, you're interested in. It's for you as well. So essentially the wounds really come out in a lot of different ways. But when we're looking at being healthy, we can see that coming out in it's words that can be linked in with those wounded words, such as instead of being controlling, we are a good leader. So we're still leading, but we're doing it in a really nice way. And if those don't follow, that is okay. But the wounded man, he won't be able to accept that. It's about the ego, whereas the healthy masculine is just in his own zone and he's able to handle this. And so a masculine family man is going to look like somebody who does want to take care of the home, who wants to help his wife. And it doesn't mean that the wife does nothing, but it's that she is happy to also follow his lead. They both respect each other, because also remembering here that even though we may be more of a core masculine or a core feminine, it doesn't mean that we don't access the other parts of ourselves. And because in this world, we very much so go into our other energies, depending where we sit at. But if you're a woman and your core energy is feminine, you'll definitely be going a lot into your masculine energy, particularly if you work. So it's about also understanding that we always access both sides of ourselves, and we really need to in this day and age. It's very hard to just be in one, and it's also healthier to be able to access both sides when you need it. So that can look like a woman who is able to be able to be led by a man, be impressed by a man, perhaps let him take her on a lead, and she trusts his energy. If he says that he'd like to take you out for a lovely dinner, you allow him to do that because you trust where he's going to take you, and it's about trusting that process. Whereas the wounded side is not able to trust that process and wants to also get involved and lead. Or as a wounded feminine, it's actually coming in and not being able to stand up for yourself or say anything at all. So we need to be able to sort of differentiate between these differences. And another point that I want to make here for a wounded masculine man is that in this world today, women are struggling to trust in men, which I completely understand, because when women are struggling to trust a man, this is generally because he's not confident within himself, or he's coming from that wounded space. And so a woman is able to sense this. And a great example of this is where perhaps it is around the dating process, or it's around the commitment process. If you're not strong as a man inside yourself and feeling confident, knowing where you're leading the woman, knowing where you want to take this, being able to communicate this, then she can pick up on this, and she will feel as if she needs to come into her masculine to start taking over where you're not confident. So if you are not confident to go and take her to the movies, or to pay for the date, or to actually let her know where she stands with you, make her feel safe, make her feel grounded. This is what part of the healthy masculine will do. Whereas the wounded masculine is going to push the woman away, because she will pick up that it's coming from your ego, it's coming from a very insecure place. It's not a real masculine and healthy masculine place. And I want to give you a couple of practical examples in the real world what this can look like. So a wounded masculine man could be somebody that at a dinner party perhaps doesn't want to announce something or say something or help out somebody because he thinks that perhaps his partner should be doing that, or he's not comfortable with that, or he wants to leave early to go somewhere else. He's not there in that present moment. He's not being there as a support. She feels like she has to take over and lead. Perhaps it's as a married couple where the wife is pulling the weight a lot and the husband doesn't want to get involved. The husband doesn't want to get involved in things at the school. He leaves it all up to his wife. Perhaps he says, you organize this party or that party and just tell me when you get the result. This is the wound coming through, whereas I see, this is my own interpretation of it, the healthy masculine man is there as a support to help, to support his wife, and it's not just leaving her to plan everything, organize everything, take care of everything. And while she might be quite happy to do that, the masculine man is always right behind her, supporting her. And when things go wrong in the household, if the feminine, if the woman perhaps has organized it, or whichever one is the more feminine energy, it could be the man that's organized it. If something goes wrong at the end of the day, the wounded masculine is going to come in and blame and not support, and you solve this, you work it out. This is the wound, whereas the really grounded, really healthy masculine is going to be there and say, I'm going to support you, we can do this together. It's coming together as a team. And it's not about the man that when things are going right, that this masculine energy is going, yes, I'm part of this, I helped organize this, when he didn't really have much part in it. So it's almost actually copping out of things when he can be part of it and step up. And so this is a really big part of where these wounds come from. And so when we think about any of the wounds, so you can relate this, it is about thinking that, okay, the wounds can come from needing to really dominate, needing to really control, needing to show that he's really manly, not able to express emotions, believing that men are weak, that men don't cry. This is all the wounds. These are things where you're not accessing both sides of yourself or having that reasonable and logical balance within yourself. And also it's a lot about the ego. So you will see that the wounded masculine is very much so about money and driving and overworking, having the best car, showing off, talking a lot, whereas the healthy masculine will not feel the need to do that. And so this is just a little bit of an introduction to give you some idea if you are attracting someone who's almost, I would say it's coming from this place of ego, coming from this place of arrogance, and deeply knowing that it's a place of insecurity and trying to come out as a masculine, like trying to come out as a man, essentially, trying to show all the things that we may actually link with being a man, but it's doing it in a way that is not a way that you actually trust that energy, that you actually feel attracted to that energy, because a woman will be very drawn to a natural masculine man who is there as the leader, as the guy, as a foundation, somebody to make her feel safe, somebody that can hold her emotion, somebody that's able to allow her to express her emotion and can handle that, and then realize that it's not about him. His insecurity and his triggers from his own childhood don't come into it. He's able to be there as a support, as a bed for her, essentially. This is the underneath as the bed, and then she's on top being able to express all of her sides. And again, this is the core feminine, even though I'm referring to them as her or him, it's actually just talking about the feminine or the masculine. So whatever your leading zone is, you can just relate that into what you are. But I do hope this gave you some idea as to where we're going with this wounded masculine, and I'm going to do a lot more teaching on this and try and look out for it in your dating. Look for a man who's coming from a place of wounds, who's coming from a place of real insecurity or perhaps arrogance, is not there to lead you, says, oh babe, you take care of it, I don't want to get involved in that. He's essentially copping out of some stuff. This is another big part of it. So start looking out for that in your dating life. How confident is the guy? But we're talking about confident and masculine, not really cocky or arrogant. So I hope that this has helped you, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. And let me know what you do think of this kind of quick chat that I've just given you a rundown about, and I will see you again soon.